My CEO girlfriend of 5 years doubted my loyalty. She demanded I collect 10,000 blessings from strangers before she'd marry me. But when Marcus, the man she truly obsessed over, the one she'd broken up with 3 times, asked her to marry him on a dare, she couldn't wait to make their relationship official, splashing it across every major screen in the city. My mom, who'd just come to the city to meet my fiancé, was so enraged she suffered a heart attack and ended up in the hospital. I rushed to the announcement site, falling to my knees, begging Vivian to return my savings for mom's medical bills. But she frowned, saying that once my money was in her hands, it was hers. She had no obligation to pay for my family's expenses, telling me to figure it out myself. Then, right in front of me, she used my money to order Marcus a luxury car. Because I couldn't pay on time, mom missed her window for treatment and died tragically in the hospital morgue. I buried her with tears in my eyes, accepted an offer from a major overseas company, and submitted my resignation. Vivian, though, just thought I was throwing a tantrum. She casually said, "Where else would a guy your age go without me? Don't play your little games with me. I'll take your mom out for a few days later, just doing my duty as your future daughter-in-law." But when she saw me at the airport, why did her eyes turn red? And why did she fall to her knees, begging for my forgiveness? After my visa was approved, I went home to pack. The moment I opened my closet, Vivian popped out, startling me. "Alex, I'm the hunter, and I've caught my prey." She was beaming, her cheeks flushed, laughing heartily. I knew she'd used a business trip as an excuse these past 2 days, but she was really just traveling with Marcus to avoid me. In the past, I would have greeted her with a warm smile, asking about her trip. Now, I just pulled her aside and started rummaging for my clothes. Vivian stood there, looking a bit lost. After a long moment, she poked my arm. "Alex, what's wrong? Are you still mad about me not lending you money that day?" I was trying to complete Marcus's dare. We're friends, and he was about to lose in 15 minutes. I didn't have time to transfer money. Didn't I soften up later and have the finance department give you an advance? I gave a bitter laugh, suppressing the sting in my nose, and kept stuffing clothes into my suitcase. That day, Mom had just arrived from out of town when she saw her future daughter-in-law on a giant screen, holding another man's hand and making their relationship official. She collapsed on the spot. I rushed to the scene, falling to my knees in front of Vivian, pleading with her to give me back my savings for Mom's medical bills. It would have taken less than 3 seconds to pull out her bank card from her bag, but she just coldly kicked me aside, telling me to figure it out myself. Then, she used every last cent from my card to buy Marcus a luxury car. Later, when I went to the finance department for an advance, the finance officer rolled her eyes at me. "Alex, who do you think you are? Dreaming about someone like her? Mr. Marcus and CEO Vivian are the golden couple." She deliberately dragged out the process. I ran around the company, completing 18 different procedures, which took 3 hours, just to get a $200 advance. The finance officer said it was Vivian's order, and they couldn't do anything about it. By the time I rushed to the hospital, Mom had already passed away. Vivian saw I wasn't speaking, snatched the clothes from my hands, and threw them onto the bed. "That's what I dislike about you small-town guys. You're so petty. You hand over a few $100,000, and then you try every trick to get it back. Honestly, I bought Marcus that sports car just to cut off your idea of getting into my pockets." My heart felt like it was squeezed hard. I took a deep breath. I thought if I just poured my heart out and gave her all my earnings, Vivian would eventually let go of her suspicions. But I never imagined she still thought I was after her money. Marcus and she had broken up and gotten back together 3 times. Each time, it was her winning him back with luxury cars and lavish homes. So why was it suddenly me who was being petty? I finished packing, picked up my suitcase, and curled my lips into a sarcastic smile. "It won't happen again. Keep your money for Marcus to spend." Vivian's eyes widened. She grabbed me. Crash! A storage box was knocked over, sending countless paper slips covered with blessings fluttering to the ground like snow. These were all the blessing messages I had pleaded with anyone and everyone I met on the street to write for me. She had said she'd had enough heartbreak. Unless I collected 10,000 blessings from strangers to prove my sincerity, she wouldn't marry me. The 10,000th blessing was from a passenger sitting next to my mom on the train ride into the city. When Mom handed it to me, she wished Vivian and me a long and happy life together. But Vivian still announced her relationship with Marcus just because of one sentence from him. All my boundaries, all my efforts, were a joke. Vivian picked up a slip of paper. Her beautiful brows relaxed, and she sighed. "All right, Alex, stop sulking. I'll give you another 300. Take your mom to get some nice clothes and good food. Later, I'll take her on a trip. I'll do my duty as a daughter-in-law." In the past, I would have taken the out and praised her as a good wife. But now, the bitterness in my heart wouldn't let up. I just couldn't swallow it. I covered her transfer screen with my hand and said coldly, "No need. You're not her daughter-in-law. We're over." My words were swallowed by the sound of a key in the lock. "Vivian, I'm here to pick you up. Didn't we say we'd treat everyone to dinner to celebrate?" Marcus walked in, looking surprised. "Assistant Alex, why are you at Vivian's place?" Vivian coughed, putting distance between us. Alex's mom needed money. He just asked if he could get an advance on his salary. We'd been in a secret relationship for 5 years. She always kept me at arm's length, and I couldn't even post about her on Ins. I thought it was because she didn't want an office romance. Turns out, keeping it from everyone was just about keeping it from him. Marcus looked righteous and reprimanded me sharply. "Assistant Alex, don't go too far. I didn't even say anything about you causing a scene at the announcement, but you have hands and feet. You can't just take advantage of Vivian's kindness and demand money from her." Vivian frowned, about to speak. I curled my lips. "You're right, that's exactly what I think. So I'm leaving now." With that, I picked up my suitcase and walked past Vivian, heading downstairs. She took a step as if to follow, glanced at Marcus, then calmly said, "Be careful on your way." As I walked out of the building, Vivian sent me a Snapchat message. "Alex, don't worry. This is the last time I'll help Marcus out. I'll make time in a couple of days to take your aunt out, and we can discuss our wedding plans and get married soon." I scoffed. I just opened my chat with William, the HR from the overseas company. "William, my visa is done. Flights tomorrow afternoon. See you there." I hailed a cab to the company to pick up my files, but the HR officer looked impatient. "CEO Vivian has been holding up your resignation application. Come back next Monday to ask again." I called Vivian, but it just rang busy. It was always like this when she was with Marcus. I should have waited for her to approve my resignation before rushing off earlier. Frustrated, I frowned and left the company. Behind me, a burst of laughter erupted. When Mr. Marcus and CEO Vivian made their relationship official, he was there singing and dancing, even kneeling and begging Vivian for money. So embarrassing. Didn't you see how awful his face looked when he couldn't get through to CEO Vivian just now? If I were her, I'd block a leech like that too. I was used to these mocking words by now. My phone pinged with a notification, a taunting message from Marcus. The photo showed the blessing slip stuffed into a reeking, greasy trash can. "Vivian threw away all 10,000 blessings just because I said so. I heard you spent a year collecting them. So much effort. How sad. So what if you dated for 5 years? The moment I came back, you were kicked to the curb. She's eating with me right now, peeling shrimp for me, her hands covered in sauce. You've never seen that, have you? If you're curious, come to the restaurant's private room. I'll let you see all you want." My hand tightened around my phone. Since he'd returned, I'd seen too many messages like this. Vivian, who was a clean freak and so proud, would wash his clothes, cook for him, and even wash his feet and make his bed. Before, I used to dread Marcus's messages, yet I'd self-torture myself by watching Vivian's special treatment of him. I even tried to tell myself it was all photoshopped, telling him not to stir up trouble, thinking if I didn't see the truth, I could keep lying to myself. This time I went, not out of jealousy, but to get Vivian to sign my resignation and sever all ties with her. Half an hour later, I arrived at the restaurant, only to hear Vivian arguing with someone in the stairwell. I instinctively hid around the corner. "Vivian, are you out of your mind? Marcus dumped you 3 times, each time worse than the last. He even tricked you to a cliff and almost broke your leg, and you're making it official with him? Alex has been with you for 5 years, and you never gave him a title. Don't forget he risked his life to save you before." It was Sasha, Vivian's best friend. I touched the uneven scar on my forehead. A year ago, Vivian and I were in a car accident during a business trip. To protect her, I was impaled by the windshield. I had a dozen steel plates implanted in my body, and a scar above my left eyebrow disfigured me, making my formerly gentle eyes look fierce. Colleagues secretly called me Scarface, kept their distance, and even spread rumors that I was beaten by loan sharks. Vivian, however, never clarified anything to avoid suspicion. The next second, Vivian's reply struck me like a lightning bolt. "It's because he had the car accident. He has a scar over his eye. He doesn't look like Marcus anymore." Sasha was furious. "So you were still treating him as a substitute? No wonder when he proposed, you made him do an impossible task. 10,000 blessings? Even if he asked 30 people a day, it would take a year. If you didn't want to marry him, you didn't have to string him along. What kind of spell did a scumbag like Marcus put on you?" "Enough," Vivian snapped, her voice sharp. "Don't you dare slander Marcus like that. He said he's turned over a new leaf. I'm just trying to make up for past regrets. Give me 2 more days, and I'll break it off with him." Sasha was speechless. "Aren't you afraid Alex will truly give up?" Vivian seemed relaxed, in control. "Alex's job came from me. He lives in my apartment. He has nothing without me. I'll take responsibility for him. We've been out too long, Marcus will get impatient. Let's head back." Watching their retreating figures, I stood there for a long time, then sank to the floor, holding myself. When Mom got sick, I brought her to the city for treatment. When I was desperate because we had no money, Vivian was the one who approached me, inviting me to work at her company. She was gentle and compassionate, like a goddess, and I fell for her. Now, looking back, I was wearing a mask then, only my eyes visible, and her eyes were filled with the joy of finding something she'd lost. Whenever she mentioned her ex, Vivian would gnash her teeth, full of love and hate. Then she'd bury her head against my chest, sighing how lucky she was to have me. After Marcus returned to the country, she deliberately ran into him several times, clashing with him, but their arguments were just her way of flirting and showing how much she missed him. No wonder Vivian suddenly became distant after the car accident. I was foolishly thinking it was because Marcus was back, and she was just conflicted. Turns out, the original was back, and I, the substitute, was useless, which was why she made me collect 10,000 blessings to politely reject me. After a while, I took a deep breath and pushed open the private room door. Inside, everyone was already tipsy, clapping and cheering. Their dramatic reunion, their intense, complicated love. I'm totally hooked. "Vivian, you have to kiss Marcus."